The story of Jonah and the whale, found in the book of Jonah in the Old Testament, is a powerful narrative with rich theological implications for Christianity. Here's a more detailed overview. Summary of the story. Divine calling. Jonah, a prophet of God, is commanded to go to the city of Nineveh, known for its wickedness, and preach repentance. Instead of obeying, Jonah attempts to flee from God's command by boarding a ship headed to Tarshish. Storm at sea. While at sea, a great storm arises, threatening the ship and its crew. The sailors, fearing for their lives, cast lots to determine who is responsible for the calamity, and the lot falls on Jonah. He confesses that he is fleeing from God and suggests that they throw him overboard to calm the sea. Swallowed by a whale. After being thrown into the ocean, Jonah is swallowed by a great fish, often referred to as a whale. He spends 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the fish, where he prays to God, repenting for his disobedience. Deliverance. God hears Jonah's prayers, and the fish vomits him out onto dry land. Jonah is then given a second chance to fulfill his mission. He goes to Nineveh and preaches God's message of repentance. The people of Nineveh respond to Jonah's warning, repenting of their sins, which leads to God sparing the city. Jonah's anger. Despite the successful mission, Jonah is displeased that God showed mercy to the Ninevites. He retreats to a place outside the city to sulk. God teaches Jonah a lesson about compassion through the story of a plant that provides him shade but then withers, illustrating Jonah's misplaced priorities. Implications for Christianity. God's mercy. The story emphasizes God's mercy and compassion, not just for Israel, but for all nations, including those considered enemies, like the Assyrians in Nineveh. This is a foreshadowing of the universal nature of God's love and grace, which is central to the message of the New Testament. Repentance. Jonah's time in the fish symbolizes the importance of repentance. Christians believe that recognizing one's sinfulness and turning back to God is crucial for receiving forgiveness. The Ninevites' response to Jonah's message reflects the transformative power of repentance. Obedience and mission. Jonah's initial refusal to obey God serves as a warning about the consequences of disobedience. It also highlights the importance of fulfilling one's God-given mission. For Christians, this relates to the Great Commission to spread the gospel. Foreshadowing Christ. Jonah's 3 days and nights in the fish are often seen as a foreshadowing of Jesus' death and resurrection. Jesus himself references Jonah in Matthew 12:40, saying that just as Jonah was in the belly of the fish, so too would the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. Compassion for others. The story challenges believers to examine their attitudes towards others, especially those they might deem unworthy of God's grace. Jonah's struggle with God's mercy towards Nineveh invites Christians to reflect on their own willingness to forgive and accept others. In summary, the story of Jonah and the whale is not just a tale of disobedience and divine intervention. It serves as a rich source of theological reflection on God's character, the nature of repentance, and the call to live out God's mission with compassion and obedience.